fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What people do in no money, what people at you in no at you. Could be money miss away in the yellow corrupt you. Use the youth the money waste for most of man to statue. Say me like a cashew but bigger than a figure you. Take this spit of money girl and say that is not you. One day the man above end up him a got up. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. The singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me
300% free.
It burn me
garbage pile of it.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our river. Member bowl honey and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the son man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
Or them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again.
Stibbidim day, stibbidim day, stibbidim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for we in Global TV. Check it.
Are you still as depressed as I am from the scene of the accident and or future progression in our country? Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us this morning, to my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good morning and welcome. Good morning to IG. TikTok banned me until about a week. Never mind them. We only got about 6 days of it left to go. Beat and Teach, good morning, good morning. Good morning and welcome, RJ. Good morning. Shadi Urban Iris. Jason Kane. Marcia Thomas. Wayne Evans. Karen Nimad. Keith Matthews. Sabina Sarkody. Violet Watson, Debbie Jervis TV, even though you're not turned up yet, Ladybug, Alice Wigan, good morning. Good morning, all, and welcome. Now, I'm going to address what is a controversial issue. And I'm going to make it clear this is not a Dana bashing, because this is not what Global TV is about. Global TV is about social justice. And it's in the context of social justice I will speak further on the issue than I did last night, but in particular to Donna Marie Gow. Everybody is expecting or listening to hear Auntie Donna says something in relation to what have transpired over the weekend involving Ramesh. It's not a matter of friendship, social media clouting on my part, why I think a response to the issue or a statement is required from Donna Marie Gow. It is to be said, though, if Donna goes left, you're going to have Jankra fly down, want to eat her. If she go right, it's going to be the same thing. Meaning that if she stays silent, she's going to still face a prosecution and a drugging. If she speaks, then people is going to take her word and twist it. It is obvious of how she's been treated. Joyce Ferguson, Willie Don, Millicent Jones, Ladybug. But on an issue of injustice, given her working relationship with Ramesh, not a friendly relationship, not a social media relationship, a business and working relationship, coupled with Donna Gow's influence, brand. Given what has transpired, it is not that people are alleging what Ramesh did. It was captured on camera. He admitted culpability by apologizing. Flimsy though that apology is, because that is what irritates some of us, Donna. Rosemary Samuels. The flimsy corporate, I'm trying to protect my brand and reputation apology is the more upsetting part, Christine Gilbert, of what is igging a lot of people. With the business and working relationship you have with Ramesh, staying silent will send a message that you either condone or you're giving him favoritism. However, if you say something, people are still going to chew you up. But when it comes to justice, there's a thing about justice where if you miss that, then you miss the whole concept of justice. Justice is not about when it turns up, when it's not about when injustice turns up at your door. If you look away from injustice, play blind to injustice, whoever that injustice is being meted out to, that's where we all fall down, because injustice to one is injustice to all. If injustice is meted out to someone and you turn away from that, when it gets to your time, there may be no one there to speak for you. And what I wouldn't wish for no one is that no matter who the person is and what the person is about, there's nobody to stand up for them when there is injustice. And this is the context in which we must see justice. We don't wait until it happened to us or come to our doorway before we start seeking justice. This is why justice is a thing what we hope for, but not thing that we work towards to achieve, because we deal with the thing of justice single-handedly. when it concerns me. I listened to Auntie Donna this morning, and somebody may have upset her surrounding the whole issue. But I don't think it ought to be what happened over the weekend ought to be looked at in context to their behavior on TikTok. I think that's a slippery slope of justice. If you are going to look away because over there they have a disgraceful behavior. Yes, all of us detest a lot of how a lot of our Jamaicans behave on TikTok. That, though, shouldn't allow us to look aside if injustice happens. The broader issue of this whole situation is that there's evidence, is not that people are make up, say Ramesh said or did. That was captured on camera. We now knew that what Ramesh uses was state power to advance his violence, something which Indicom is investigating at the moment. Imagine how that look for your brand, Auntie Donna, if you remain in silence. We're not asking you to throw Ramesh under the bus. Let's be clear here. That is not what I'm asking. I'm not asking to throw Ramesh under the bus. And I'm not just asking to come to social media and make an off-the-cuff statement, because how people are going to pick your statement letter by letter, word by word. It is something that needs to be written and crafted. I'm not asking you to throw him under the bus, but for your brand, for womanhood, for reputation, for justice, for the working relationship with you and Ramesh, I think you deserve to make a statement, because this whole abuse involves the state as well. And to the commissioner of police, if you are investigating your off-duty officers, then I think, regardless if TJ wants to bring and Maya wants to bring charges or not, then Ramesh ought to be investigated, because his crime was captured on camera. He who instigated the attack, carried out by off-duty police officers, armory of the state, used by a corporate thug and a corporate gangster, Auntie Donna. You don't want the next phase people start run around and make it platter over social media that Donna Go is supporting thug and gangster, because we can't treat this as a mistake. This wasn't in the heat of the moment, Auntie Donna. Ramesh wasn't under threat. Ramesh may have felt disrespected, and by that uses his power of gangsterism and thuggery coupled with state power to carry out such injustice. I don't think the working relationship you have with Ramesh, silence will suffice, Auntie Donna. It just will not. You, above all person, know how social media work, and know that when them grab on pan the hang of your garment, Auntie Donna, them not go let go. Make a statement, put it to bed, and let the junker them nyam dead meat. You know that's gonna happen. That's gonna be inevitable. You stay silent, it's going to be the same thing as well. But don't make it look like the person you are revered to be. Don't make it look like you're giving favoritism to Ramesh, or give people the saying figure say you're supporting thuggery and gangsterism. So I hope coming out, Dana have some crazy followers over there. I hope they understand it that way Patricia Matthews. How are you? But back to the accident in Jamaica, in Clarendon, Joyce Ferguson. I think we need to have a national conversation about road usage. We have new law will come in our year and other go about 2 years, but a national conversation of road usage and safety. And this includes pedestrian, bikers, motor vehicles, and everybody who uses the road, government officials, transport authority, because I don't think we should wait for 6,000 years or 60 hours to find out if transport authority was chasing the unlicensed robot operator. I don't think it takes any time. Debbie Jarvis, how are you? It shouldn't take any time for the transport authority or the police to find out if the Subaru or the Probox or whatever, which if any of them were being chased by transport authority. I mean, we shouldn't have to go to space to find that out. Was there a transport authority vehicle in the area at the time? Was there a transport authority vehicle on the accident scene? It doesn't take long. Lauren, how are you? It really doesn't take long for such to be known. So the dilling and the dallying as whether no if the transport authority is there and we have to go through all of these bureaucratic box ticking and benchmarking before we come to the public and tell the truth to grieving families and a grieving country, because we mess up the whole of our brain. Because if this is not just reckless driving is involved, because if he's speeding away from transport authority, that ensues automatic reckless driving. The speeding away from transport authority automatically ensue reckless driving. But we also have to look at the broader picture, the but-for test. If he was chased by the transport authority, but for the actions of the transport authority, the accident may not have happened. So we don't have to play with people's feelings, grief, and emotion at this time. Patricia Matthews, Rennie Nicholson, how are you? Don't play with people's grief and emotion at this time. And Nesta Morgan, I'm going to address you this morning because I have a tug of war with one of my friends this morning about your choice of word, and I have to explain the context in which you said it and what you meant and how it is taken or could be taken. Thank you very much, Trending Drama. But I hope the whole social media spheres and anti-Dana audience do not see this as mix up. Everybody knows I'm not chime in on what vloggers do, may focus on politics, but for me, this is the issue of justice, so that's why I have to speak on it. But welcome to Global Television. Let me play Nesta and the easy jerk word. Well, go on, bro. Explain the contentious way in which, or some people see it as disrespectful or heartless, and hope to help clarify what Nesta Morgan really means.
For North Central Clarendon. I was in cabinet this morning and I heard that there was a major car accident involving students. I think it was 2 cars. The car that had the students from Lennon, I think, overturned, and we lost 2 of our students. One is in critical condition and 2 others are injured. So the police are actually doing their investigation, but the driver of the car where the students died, as we can't locate him. I am actually here at the Mapen Hospital. I'm here with the principal and the guidance counselors. The parents of the children are coming in. As you can imagine, it's a very tragic situation, and we're just here to pledge support. I've spoken to the Prime Minister about it. He has been briefed. Also, the Minister of Education has been briefed. The ministry has activated its grief counseling unit. All the principals in the area have assembled at Lennon to provide support to the students there. And we just want anyone who can pray for us, who can provide any support to the parents and the families of these children and the students at Lennon, to have us in your hearts as we go through this very challenging tragedy. In terms of the allegation, though, we see the opposite allegation. Do you think that practice should continue? Well, I've spoken to the police and they said that they have consulted with the authority and they don't have any evidence that that allegation is true. I am not an investigator. I have to go by what the police have said. What I do know is that the police say 2 cars collided, a Probox and a Subaru. I don't know the circumstances of the collision. And what the most important thing is that we've lost 2 of our students.
Okay, that is the contentious part of his answer. The question was put to him with regards to the chase by Transport Authority. That is what Nesta Morgan was responding to. With where I stopped him there was quite a poor choice of word. Viewers of mine take it that Nesta is saying the most important thing here is that 2 children have died. It's really not what Nesta Morgan meant. It's how it come across if you're not listening in the context of the question that was asked to him. But that was slight blunder in the way he put it. Where he said the most important thing. He should have rather be the most depressing thing for us, or the most tragic thing for us, or some one of those benevolent words. But to use the word important, it misconstrued what he was actually saying, you know. But it is a terrible situation what has happened in that Cecile Nicholson Colin with that at that accident scene. And may I tell you, my people, I have to delete off the thing them off of my phone, because even this morning somebody sent me a new set again. The video clip where they're putting the children in the van, that is depressing. When I say depressing, I mean it is depressing. And it goes to the heart of how we have been failed as a people by the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party. Horribly failed, let down, inhumane, barbaric treatment from those who we've elected and put in power to spend our money to do business with the country's resources, but more and more we find out this money go deep and far into their pockets. Without it goes to the infrastructure and the services of our country. I have long been saying a lot of our people who die at accident scene are to do with the aftermath of the accident, because we do not have first responders in our country. Thereby that treatment, and I'm not putting down all of these people who are helping. We don't know better. Help. We just want to help. That's the depressing part of it. Because government refuse to educate and train people adequately. Government refuse to provide us adequate emergency service at all. When any disaster happen in Jamaica, any incident, any accident, we are on our own. We are on our own. We have to shuffle off ourselves to hospital. And if we suffer broken bone, we have to send go buy the pin and the steel them. We have to buy the injection. We have to buy the x-ray and all sorts. But yet still, we live in such a rich country with rich resources. The tourist sector is booming and they're governing all the money in our country. John Rock Novelet. Denny's. But we're not asking them to invest in anything. Because not even as much as stand up, we can stand up and defend Jamaicans' right to better pay and working condition. Because the minimum wage is not a match to inflation. So government can't talk about them same thing there. Government have to stay silent. Government can't tell them, say, you have to help build a hospital or you have to help build this or whatever. Even if them get the money, them same one put in a them pocket and run off with it. Because everybody shaft the Jamaican people. Everybody come along and get rich out of the Jamaican people purse. But Jamaica people are still struggling. We do not have the basic services. Our health care is in a disastrous state. Our health care across the country is in a disastrous state. Our roads across the country is in a disastrous state. And then you have the same Prime Minister poisoning your environment and just sell it out behind you without even having a conversation with you. The people of Jamaica, though, don't love themselves. Because the people of Jamaica are not standing up for anything. They're not standing up. They're not standing up against the brutality and the treatment of these two political parties. What we do offer to them, cycle after cycle, is more or less of our tribal support. And we continue to maintain their power over the people. You heard Rosie Lee Hamilton saying, it's a careful plan to disrespect the people and have disregard for them after the people have given you power. You heard J.C. Hutchison told you all, no matter how them demonstrate against me, them have to come stronger. It's $5,000 on a box food. Look at the JLP conference last Sunday. People were warring and having standoff across the country because if them don't get them $5,000, they're not going to conference. Do you think you're going to get hospitals? You're going to get roads. You're going to get better schools, upkeep of your courts. If you don't vote for those things, if you continue to vote because you love that politician, my good up prime minister, my clean prime minister, my good up Marky G, that's what we're voting for, you know. Marky G and Andrew Holness. We're not voting for the future and the betterment of our country or for future generations. Oh no, we don't do that. That's not really important. What is important is Marky G and Andrew Holness. But remember, before Marky G came, he has his millions. And Andrew came broke and he amassed billions. Do you think when Marky G and Andrew Holness done their term in power, they're going to share their wealth before or after with you? It is why we must vote for something that will benefit us and not continue to vote for politicians because we love politicians. The problem with Jamaica is we don't love our country. The problem with Jamaica is that we don't love justice. We want justice, you know. We want justice, but we'll never achieve justice the way we move at it. Because you don't see when injustice is happening to your neighbor. You don't see when injustice is happening to the madman on the street. You don't see when injustice is happening to the person you see and everybody out there do not recognize as one of us. Gloria Morris. You only care about injustice that affect you and your nearest and dearest. Sharon Bernard. We're never going to achieve justice like that. Because when it comes round to you, everybody might stay silent and you will be thinking that is injustice to me because people know the truth and people refuse to speak up. If we don't approach justice holistically, we're never going to achieve it. If we're going to look away like it not concern we, then somebody else is going to look away when it's your time. But if all of we see injustice for what it is, we might achieve justice if we come out of the tug of war of looking away. It doesn't concern me. It's not at my doorstep. Marcia Gray, Joyce Ferguson. This is why we're not achieving justice. Because the justice we're looking for is the justice that only concerns us. That's why some of you may think that some people who campaign on environmental justice, you may think they're mad because you may say China have feeling. Other people who are animal rights activists, you may say, but what are they about? These are animals. Why are they concerned? It is justice. It is the achievement of justice. So you can't just look upon it and say, because we're human, we deserve justice. But the animal or the environment does not deserve justice. So justice is not a compartmentalization thing. To achieve it, selective justice. You can't have selective justice. Justice have to be holistic and collective if we want to achieve it. We can't do the look away justice. We can't do the my friend and my compatriot justice. That's not how it works. If you see injustice happen to your friend, but you doesn't see injustice happen to your enemy, you're on the wrong track. If it is your enemy and you cannot say that that is injustice, you are really on the wrong track, because to achieve the justice we hope, Kenroy Johnson, the unstoppable KK, how are you, cuz? The way to achieve justice is holistically. So, if we're got thing to say, justice is about my friend, my family, or who I care about, we're very wrong. That's why there is a continuous breakdown and breakaway of injustice around us, because everybody is waiting until it gets to my door. Everybody is waiting until it gets to my door. What about if when it gets to your door, nobody is there to speak for you? It's just you alone. That's why we have to, when you see injustice, you have to call it out. Vaz say him want a report. What the other young man the name Phillips say him want a report. And this is more in relation to the transport authorities, the argument of the transport authorities, sir, Chase. It don't take rocket science. It does not take rocket science to show or to provide information as to whether transport authority was chasing either one of the cars. We don't have to really go to space to find that out. I don't think so. So the report where when I call for me find them before I come back to over yonder there. So the report for both Vaz and Phillips a call for. I don't need to stop play the bureaucratic game around people and provide grieving relative the information. They want to know how and why their children died, what caused the accident. We really don't have to go space, you know. The answer is here on Earth. The answer that you're all looking for in space, it's right here on Earth. That we know, the truth is known from yesterday by the authorities, whether the car was being chased by transport authority or not. Trying to sidestep the public or pull a wool over our eyes will not just suffice. It will not work. Speak to the family. The country needs to know if transport authority was pursuing one of the vehicle. It's yes or bloody no. If transport authority was pursuing the vehicle, transport authority knew that they were pursuing the vehicle. If transport authority is lying, come out and tell us they're lying. But not come tell us on the one report or whatever. You all knew whether the car was being chased or not. The people on the scene said there was a chase. So what do we walk and pull wool over our eyes for? Provide us the information. On the stop calling for we need reporter. Tell them, transport authority, the Minister of Transport ought to make a public joint statement to the public explaining what they knew from the accident up until now when they choose to speak to us. It don't hard. These are what happen in democratic society. You are required to speak to the people and give an explanation to the people, and such a grave matter happened in the country. So it's not a matter of investigating all this. What's there to if transport authority was chasing the vehicle? It's a matter of yes or no. What's there to investigate? If they were chasing too fast or too slow, that's irrelevant. What is relevant is whether they were chasing or not. And we don't have to go to Mars or like America who went to the moon, Tolerance Day, and now them want to go set up base somewhere else, figure the moon, they remember the journey back there. I wonder if them coffers down and fall in. But not stop playing with people, especially in these tumultuous grief where them are go through. Don't do it, Colin Damas, Net Bedford. Don't do it. This is playing mind games with people who are going through unimaginable grief. Don't play these mind games. It's mind games they're all playing. Come to the public and tell us, yes, there was a chase. No, there wasn't. It's simple. You don't have to go dig earth and dive in a river, Norman Ferguson, to find out if Transport Authority was chasing any of the vehicle. Stop the mind game, man. Stop the mind game. I'm tired of Darrell deep sadness. If you look upon all of the accident them, he always expressing profound sadness over tragic loss. Look back on all of the accident them involving children, school children. If I know the same rhetoric Darrell Vaz come out with. The issue though, Darrell Vaz, is when are we going to have the conversation about a national bus service across the country, particularly to usher our children to school? That is the conversation we ought to be having. And you all telling us how much you can invest in that and when we will see that get on the way, just like it gets on the way in St. Thomas now. But if we don't even have 5 buses per parish to transport school children, it would be better than these racing robots, because literally them do a lot of illegal thing on road, but that's the only way for a lot of our children getting to school or getting there on time for that matter. Under no circumstances we now condone illegal roboting, because if them make them dues on the road, they must pay them fair share, just like people who do it licensed and legal and pay them fair share. But this is why we need to have a national conversation. Bobby Montague, hello, good morning. Yes, look over here. The national conversation, Bobby Montague, that you're asking for on race and ethnicity. Don't you think a national conversation on road usage on first responding would be a more valid or beneficial, rather, conversation, Miranda Roddick, that will benefit the Jamaican people, Carleen Jones? Have you ever thought of that? The national conversation you want to have on race, I think you should look at having a national conversation on road usage, Esther Dwyer. That's where we should be having the national conversation. That is what is taking a lot of lives in our country. That is what is killing a lot of our school children in our country. A national conversation on road usage, Bobby Montague. I don't see where we need a adjustable conversation about race and ethnicity in Jamaica. It just was never the case, and it isn't. So why don't I make up things that are not there and I jump at in the sky to hold that's not there? Here is something to hold at. Let us have the conversation about our roadways, how government is going to repair, upkeep, maintain, and replenish our roadways. How are you going to educate people? How are you going to make it more affordable for robot operators to operate at the competitive level rather than operating at the illegal level. And them something that we want to talk about Bobby Montague. You want to have national conversation. That is something that we would stand to benefit more out of, Bobby Montague. A national conversation about road usage and how authorities should proceed on matters to do with the roads, particularly in chases. If there's a police pursuit, whether it be by the police or transport authority, that put public life at risk or in danger, the chase must be aborted. The chase must be aborted. That's why you don't have helicopter in the JDF and the JCF. This is where you would pull in helicopter support to continue the pursuit, and you pull back the pursuit on ground to protect life and limb. It is simple what happens in democratic countries. Because we like to use the word. We are a democratic piece of bullshit. We like to use it, you know. We like to use it. But can we actually actualize that we're a democratic country? When a prime minister has pulled a criminal investigation out of court against the private sector who has contaminated the environment and has killed wildlife. A prime minister, which is in front of the court at the moment, asking the court to strike out a piece of legislation that establish illicit enrichment. Those are the national conversation we need of honesty, integrity, and them something that important. Talk about national conversation with no dumbness. Do we really have money if act like white people with the whole heap of gunpowder behavior? Because this fireworks behavior with Jamaica take up. Why not take walk and take up the same thing them from foreign we have no benefit to our social status. But when you're not ready, or not take up the gimmickry and the celebratories and all the malarkeys to come enforce power to the expense of our public purse. Because the public purse to pay for the gunpowder, you know. And the public purse appear for the gunpowder for no apparent reason at all. I wonder if the gunpowder, the money won't spend on gunpowder. I wonder if we could buy a CT scan machine. Because when they done, then done Saddam. Then can only talk in a billion or a million. So them go come out, come tell we how much million it costs to put on New Year firework. Wholeness say, no, before we get to wholeness say, so when a wholeness staff, boy, this government is blessed with a spirit of stealing. This government, everything attached to this government have a stealing spirit. Because Andrew Holness responsible for the JDF. He's the Minister of Defense. See, one of them soldier, in a 47 million fish scam from NCB, leeching a all for your cyber security week, so sir. And still you ask people to come pack up their money and put down in your organization where anybody can walk past your bank them and push through them hand in a window and take out money. Leeching, member say one tiller walk out with a whole vault in her lap and never look. One whole vault. She want take up and come out of your bank. And you still ask people if you come put them money there for Andrew Wholeness, transfer the people them money in a for him account and say him never recognize it until somebody tell him about it, real sweet Dirty Brown. Him never recognize until the bank bring it to him attention. So money just suddenly jump out of other people's account and jump in a for him account. Why there's a thieving spirit lingering around this government, so? If you walk close to this government, you're getting a problem. Mark my word. And if you think I lie, me I tell, ask him. Ask Kim Brown Lawrence if you think a lie I'm speaking about. Just walk near this government and you end up in a catawire. Prime Minister say him extend the deadline for vote buying. The Prime Minister says if you want your £100 to make up your Christmas shop, because we know the £100 can't go to supermarket. On a normal weekend, Prime Minister, never mind, on Christmas, where we buy the extra trimmings and batterings. So we know 20,000 can't go to supermarket. So the £100, the $126 where the Prime Minister are going to make up on the shopping, the vote buying from the Prime Minister, him say until the 13th of December. Uno can put in application. So today they were the 3rd. Uno have 10 more days to put uno vote buying application in. So if uno want to vote price figure up from 5,000 to 20,000, uno need to get an application in the next 10 days. But them say it's to ease, it's to cushion the cost of living. To cushion the cost of living. No, sir. When Britain they help to cushion the cost of living in a COVID, a 6 month or plus them give with energy support for 6 months or more. This year cushioning to the blow is just a one-off. This is gravy pan dumpling. Meat, the Prime Minister never give meat, not even gravy pan dumpling. Dumpling and butter. Shauna Smith, how are you? Dumpling and butter. This $20,000 literally is. The Prime Minister never even go no chicken back. Remember in a COVID in telling us, Tanisha Ellis, a corner shop when I go buy a big jar of oil, pound of rice, quarter stick of butter, and all that jazz. So make sure when you go a corner shop, when you spend the Prime Minister £100, careful. Because these are not the day when you can cut up £100 and get a lot out of it, you know. £100 or something will confuse you for spending in these days. Because you got think for 1980 where you could have buy a house and land out of £100. £100 coming like kind pan dot now. And that the Prime Minister said, one of it be joyous and glorious because good prosperity can yam. Remember when the Prime Minister said good prosperity can yam? He said it in the context of the $20,000. Sir, you could have given chicken back. We're tired of dumpling and butter. We're tired of dumpling and butter. You could have given a little sinting left with it. That's what's a dumpling. We're tired of the sauce of dumpling, sir. If I never water to wash down that sauce of dumpling, we probably would have ended up choking. $20,000. And the thing that irritates me about this is how they believe they're doing something. It is really irritating. I see one woman complaining this morning. So one finger planting is for $500 to $600 at some market stall. One finger. Anybody have that experience? With the one total finger planting? Where $2,000 can buy 2 planting? Yvonne Riley, how are you? Sanjay Stewart. Barbara Simpson. What you say, Yvonne Riley, you have the experience with the deer planting too? I tell them that we soon have got to cut grass now. Dumpling and tin mackerel and enough pepper and onion. We soon have to go cut grass now. Better than that John shop. That me I tell you no. So you sit down and don't want to start plant grass. Which one I don't ever go on doctor office and buck up a cow, a goat, or a jackass. Talk truth. When you say you have to leave the planting Saturday because you could. No, sir. Planting. Why we have to talk them grass? Because I say, if cow and goat now sit down on bench in a doctor office, why make you think it now go benefit we too? You ever see cow and goat sit down and a cry in a pain? I got 2 planting for £1. In England here, I got 2 planting for £1. Explain that, Shana, because in England, yeah, which part that got two planting in England after 3 planting after £2. Really? Which part? Come with that figure, which part me buy planting whether be Peckham, East Street, or even my local shops? Me always pay £2 for 3 planting. But me never am Jamaica planting, so dear, would have prefer planting and wait till it grow. Would I take that $1,000 buy a planting sucker and wait till the planting grow? No, sir. But until COVID, the planting was very cheap in England. You get 4 planting for £1. But since COVID, planting really get expensive in England. Planting was very reasonable. You get 4 or 3 planting for £1. But since COVID and then leading into the Ukraine war, everything just slipped out of control. So, but planting was very cheap. Planting was very cheap here. Very cheap. Since COVID and the war, we pay extortionate price for planting. You can still get, like some places, a half and a banana for pound. Same way. Food, what Jamaica people are pay for food price, it is extortionate. I don't know how they cope with it. That's why I'm of the view that we need to plant for cushion the blow. Even if we don't want to do something there either, even if we don't want to raise fowl for sell, we no can raise 1/2 dozen or 1 dozen fowl. We can go no chicken, and when hard time, we no can kill one of the fowl and don't have to go down a best dress. Jamaica, there's many things we can do for cushion the blow where the £100 now go do, you know. When Andrew Holness £20 done, inflation is still here. Cost of living is still here. The high bills are still here. You're right. Used to get 3 planting for £1. Yes, planting was very cheap in England until since COVID and the Ukraine war. At that time, they really start with planting. But when a $3 for green plant, yeah. Why Jamaica people have it hard? Stop depending on people who feed. We don't know why we have one of the most richest soil in the Western Hemisphere, but we not utilize it. We're not utilizing our soil around us. That is what I do, raise my own dozen chicken. Yes, them something that you know if you go shop, go buy egg. You have all 6 layer and 6 of the white fowl. Your 6 layer go lay enough egg where you can sell egg in your community or get egg to your neighbor and your family. You buck up a hard time, you can kill one fowl and you can cut in a 2 and curry half and brown stew half the next day. These are cushioning the blows yourself. Sit down and wait on the price of things for drop. It now go drop. It a go higher. We're going to have more wars. Mr. One video on social media with one whole heap of fish in our river waterway all about. I wonder if them fish have nothing to do with Bill Gates. Cause afraid of that man or anything. And you know Bill Gates and Andrew Holness and the whole of them are friends. Afraid of that man because he have mosquito and some new bullfrog all over the place. Take it to me, tell you no. So, mosquito when we there grow up. Mosquito we are breeding in water anymore. Oh. Mosquito make now. Tash, how are you? Mosquito a make. So now everything you see around you, a mosquito breeding in water. And me hear so new frog da Jamaica. So new frog da Jamaica with Jamaica people not really used to seeing. Me I wonder what kind of experiment. See one whole load of fish just rock up. Me don't know if they're real, me don't know if they're not real, me don't know if AIR, CIR, me don't know. But me afraid of the man because him a walk and mess and touch with everything. This man is walking and messing and touching up everything. And anything Bill Gates mouth hand coming like goat mouth. Anything him touch it poison. Jamaica people, you can cushion the blow. You think the blow hard, you know? This is just the start of the blow, Jamaica. It's going to get even harder. But if you feed yourself, what you would do is save more money and be more healthy. Because what you're not doing, you're not having fertilized food, GMO food, and all sorts of chemically grown food. You're growing your own food in your backyard, in your surrounding. Look on how the wire fence them beer. When we are picking your carrot, potato, slip banana, slip salt, grow up on wire fence. When I just had the wire fence, them bare and bad looking in a modern days, yes, so. Shake up Jamaica. Shake the hell up. Walk and plant. There's no reason why you should not buy fruit tree and plant up in our yard. The fruit tree, them what we grew up enjoying, somebody plant them. Those fruit tree get old and tagged now, and we are not making any preparation for a generation 100 years from now. What is wrong with us? What on earth is wrong with us, Jamaican people? We not sit down and wait for the massacre. Or no can stand up and beat on the chest on the mountain when hunger kill the rest of the world. So we have our own garden. We are feeding ourselves. So now wait till the whole of we start nyam dog and puss and back off a tree like when China have the worst of their days. Is that what you're all waiting for? Because you may all just end up in a plate in a restaurant, in somebody's plate in a restaurant. If you all don't wake up, you might just end up in a plate in a restaurant. So, when you stand there with the skylarking and things that God give us all the time to idle and waste with time on TikTok. If those of you with influence around you in the Jamaican spheres would use that influence to speak to the Jamaican people on a positive note, maybe we would be closer to achieving something that we are searching for. But because all of us is vested, or most of us rather, is vested in material possession and the gains of popularity and celebrityism, nobody knows the bigger picture of justice, oneness, and betterment for the whole away as a group. You see the reason why we can stand up out here and chat is because those people on the battlefront who fought the good fight from plantation to independence to civil rights movements and all of that is what gave us the right today. We didn't just get these automatic rights, the right for us to vote, which is one of the most powerful democratic participation. Your right to vote, the power of your vote, the power of your choice to choose what is good for your country, you, your nation, and your generation. We, the people of Jamaica, often play with the most powerful democratic power we have been given since them people are corralled where have we are used as their animals on their farms. Dan Fox, good morning. And we are dig ourselves deeper in this in Jamaica because we're not doing anything to take ourselves out of it. And what we continue to do is enhance the behavior of those who regularly attack our freedom. Thank you for being here this morning on the Global Television Group. It is ever lovely to have your support. I mean, I want to know anti-Dana people them will listen and go miss the afterlife and go misconstrued when me say we're entitled to speak about justice. So if we can't understand in context of justice as to why I deal with the issue, then sorry, tough. You see? Tough. Anyway, thanks and goodbye.
I truly believe our political system needs some fixing. Too much you hear about corrupt politicians and nothing happen. Too much you hear about politicians who take away poor people money and none of them reach in jail. And to the young people at home or wherever you are, and to all Jamaicans, I have one question for you. Take a look at your communities. Take a look at the sliding dollar. Take a look at the failing healthcare and ask yourselves, where is the progress? Where is the progress that this arrogant and disrespectful government keeps talking about? With this existing callous government, matters have gone from bad to worse.